Yeah, we're very excited to kick the year off. We get to do it at home, November 5th, and it's been a long time since these guys have been able to compete, and I'm very excited. We have a young and kind of inexperienced team, but guys that are going to go out and they've put the work in, and they're just, like I said, very excited to compete against somebody else, and we can't wait to get the season going.
Questions?
Hey, how you doing, Coach? I guess just you kind of touched on your newcomers. Obviously that includes some transfers too. But I mean, at this point, who are some of the guys that just based off what you've seen, you feel pretty good that maybe they're going to be in your lineup?
Well, obviously we have two All-Americans in our lineup in Eric Barnett and DJ Hamady. As everybody knows, Braxton Amos is going to take an Olympic redshirt year and won't compete for us this year. But we're very excited about we have a couple of transfers that came in, and they're all local Wisconsin kids that transferred back. Luke Meckler from Stoughton has come back from Oklahoma State, who, I just listened to Coach speak, who is just an all-around, all-American type kid. The way he works, the way he carries himself, everything about him is just unbelievable. He's done an unbelievable job and looks like he's doing, looking real well at 157. We have Max Mailer, who's transferred in from Michigan, who is an Iowa Grant kid, who's been doing an unbelievable job, just an athletic type kid who is an amazing young man, and very excited for how well he's been doing. And then we have Shane Legal, who transferred in from Loras College. He's a legacy kid. His brothers wrestled here, his old man wrestled here, and again, another just all-around great person to begin with. But what he's brought to the program is just a workman-like attitude and a workman-like about everything. Right? He's a business analytic in the master's program, and just as the work ethic he's brought to our program has elevated everybody around him. So I'm very excited for those three transfers to see what they can do. Now that they're back home and they get to realize their dreams and wrestle in the field house November 5th.
Coach, kind of piggybacking off of that, what does that mean to you to say that you've kind of built that culture that makes guys want to come back home? And in addition to that, what does that kind of mean for them, kind of coming back home and putting the program on the map in front of their home fans?
Yeah, you got to remember, we're going into our 6th year here, and when we first got here, right, there's a lot of uncertainty about who we are and what we're about, and the changing the guard and changing the culture and all that good stuff. So these kids kind of got away, and I think over the last 5-6 years, we've made the relationships with the high school coaches and a lot of the club coaches and parents and all that good stuff, that they see who we are and they see what we're building here. And, when they have an opportunity to come back, and I think that they want to be a part of this program, it's, for us, it's very exciting. We are very excited for, all these kids that are coming back. Our lineup looks like it's going to be, 50% Wisconsin kids. And to build that's how you build your fan base. That's how you build your program. We've got to go out and keep recruiting the state hard and, trying to lock down the best kids.
Having the two All-Americans, Eric and EJ, kind of lead the newcomers, as you mentioned, there are so many new kids that are coming back to the program. Can you talk about their leadership as All-Americans and what they mean as, you're obviously the coach, but as kind of peer leaders for the rest of the squad?
Yeah, when our sport's a little different, right? When you win, you're kind of the leader. That's kind of, they're not real vocal guys. But they show up day in and day out, right? They're the ones that are there first. They're the ones leaving last. They're the ones taking care of their bodies. They're the ones showing these guys the ropes of how to do, of how to go where they've been. These kids want to know how to get there, and they're great leaders. They're great young men, and they're a little hungry. Both of them really weren't happy with what happened last year. Obviously Eric didn't All-American last year, but he's a two-time previous All-American, and DJ really wasn't happy with his 6th place finish. So they're hungry, and it's been a real great summer to have our two best guys have a little chip on their shoulder, knowing they didn't accomplish what they really could do, and then a group of 8 freshmen that have been here all summer and 3 transfers that have been here all summer, kind of following these guys that are hungry to achieve more. So it's a great team. It's one of our closest teams we've ever had, and it goes back to the roots of what we're about. You know, these guys, we don't have 4, 5, 6 All-Americans like we used to have, but we've got guys that are that all they know how to do is work, and all they know how to do is to keep showing up, and that's the staple of our program. Keep showing up no matter what happens to you, and then come March, we'll be, you keep showing up, you're going to accomplish everything you want to accomplish.
Chris, you mentioned Shane, and coming from Loris to here would seem like a pretty big jump. But I don't know in wrestling if the difference between divisions is as significant as it might be in other sports. Can you speak to the jump Shane is making, and I mean how significant, how big is it?
Well, we always believed Shane was a Division I wrestler coming out of high school. And he is a Division I wrestler. He's going to win a lot of matches. He's going to be there at the end of the day. You throw in. I'm not going to tell you he's the best technically. He's not the best. But I'll tell you what. I don't think anybody works harder than him. Nobody's going to give as much effort as him. Nobody's going to do all the right things like this guy. And you keep doing those, and you keep adding up those kind of things, he's going to win a lot of matches. So is there a big jump from Division III to Division I? Sure there is. But the grand scheme of it is. You get a guy that likes to compete, you get a guy that likes to work, and you get a guy that can wrestle. He's going to be there at the end of the day. And I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited for him. He's been doing an unbelievable job, and I think he's going to win a ton of matches.
Coach, we are wrestling Lindenwood on Sunday, November 5th at 1 o'clock. What can we expect out of Lindenwood? And we haven't wrestled them before, right?
No, so Lindenwood is they are now a Division I school for wrestling. And, part of our responsibility, right, is making sure they stay Division I, and making sure they get on, be able to show their ADs that they can wrestle some of the schools like us, and make sure we're promoting the program, the schools. We need more and more programs to get Division I. We need to add some more wrestling programs, but they are very well coached. They're tough, hardworking guys. We really haven't. Right, we don't know their lineup, so it's been hard to scout them. So we've been, just kind of looking at their whole program overall. But they wrestle a very tough schedule, and I don't think they're NCAA eligible to go to the national tournament quite yet, but they're there in the next year or two. So, we're very excited to welcome them here. Plus, they're from Missouri. We like to recruit in Missouri, and we've got a really, really good kid from Missouri, and it'd be nice to keep that little series going so we can get down there and wrestle them, and let some of our guys go home and wrestle in the state of Missouri.
Big Ten schedule and TV times just came out. We'll have 4 matches that are on television, with 2 at home, Ohio State and Nebraska. Do you want to just talk to us about what you're looking forward to in this year's schedule?
Well, we love the Big Ten, right? I mean, you know how you stack up when you get done the Big Ten season. It's the best conference in the country, and you're wrestling the national tournament every Friday and Sunday for the second semester, basically. Those are the guys you got to beat to be All-Americans and national champions. And so, we're very, very excited to be able to go on the road. Michigan State's going to be a tough challenge on the road, and then we end the season kind of with Iowa and Minnesota in the same weekend, a Friday-Sunday deal, which is awesome. We're going to be able to go test ourselves on the road. We'll be on the road a Thursday through Sunday, competing against Minnesota, who's one of our rivals, and then going into Carver Hawkeye Arena, one of the hardest places to wrestle. So I love that. Our guys will be, again, they'll be battle-tested and ready to go at the end of the year. And then we end with Northern Iowa, another non-conference team that's very, very tough to wrestle. And, we'll be on the road to finish the year in the state of Iowa. And then we have a really unique deal. We get to wrestle Iowa State in a small gym in a small town in Iowa, which just happens to be, where my wife and her family grew up, and they still live there. So it's going to be a real small gym. I think only seats 1,500 people. It'll be sold out. They've been wrestling there for a while, so it'll be a great test in early November for us to go in there and see what kind of squad we really have.
One last question. We have both the Midlands Championship Tournament, and then we have the Virginia Duels, which some fans might not be familiar with. Can you just tell us about those 2 tournaments?
Yeah, so Midlands obviously is on our schedule every year. It's an awesome tournament to go to right after Christmas to get our guys back in the swing of things, and it's only an hour and 45 minutes down the road, which is huge. And then we're going to go to Virginia Duels this year. And, my take is, I don't know if you guys really follow college wrestling a lot, but we're not wrestling enough. Guys want to sit out. Guys want to do this and do that. You only have to have 15 matches to get what you need to get to the national tournament. And when I look back on my career, my teams that have always done really well, we've wrestled a lot. So I've tried to schedule a lot of matches, a couple tournaments to make sure that our guys get a lot of matches and they get a lot of experience and they understand every situation. So to go to the Virginia duels, we're going to get 4 dual meets over 2 days. And, you got to make weight 2 days, which is a big thing. Wrestle 4 matches, and it's not an advancement tournament or anything like that. So it'll be it's another opportunity before the Big Ten season starts to get a bunch of matches in, and that's going to be our goal this year. I want to get our guys as many matches as they possibly can get, because when you look at our lineup, we really only have 3 guys with experience in the lineup of a lot of matches at the Division I level. Joe Zargo is the other guy. He's a 2-time national qualifier. But everybody else up and down the lineup, even our transfers, they've been spot starters or they haven't wrestled the whole year. Shane Legal, has wrestled a lot of matches at Loris. But everybody else in our lineup, the other, all 7 guys, don't have a ton of Division I experience. And that's going to be our goal this year, to get these guys a ton of matches, a ton of experience, and then come Big Ten national tournament time, these guys should be ready to go.